Before I begin, I'd like to notice some of the dignitaries we have here today. Governor Daniel Malloy, Chief Commissioner Rob Klee, you already on a good start here. UI CEO Anthony Marone, Senior Vice President, CFO, and Treasurer of Fuel Cell Energy, Mike Bishop. We have some members of the Board of Selectmen here this morning, Joe Crisco, and I thought Terry Schatz was here, but I'm not sure she's here yet. Our Board of Finance member, Susan Jacobs. I would like to begin by expressing gratitude and thanks to my predecessors in the office of Woodbridge First Selectman, Ellen Scalatar and Ed Sheehy. It was under their leadership and foresight that this microgrid project was begun, and we would not be celebrating its success today if it weren't for their forward thinking. I would also like to thank my staff, Tony Genovese, Betsy Yagla, and Sheila McCrevin, for their tireless work to see this project through. And a special thanks to Joe Hellauer, a former staff member whose initial work on this project was an important contribution. In addition to staff at Town Hall, I'd like to express my appreciation to our zoning office staff, our public works department, and department staff members who did a lot of legwork once we were into the construction and testing phases of the project. Thank you so much. Any project of this magnitude requires teamwork. Standing beside me today are Police Chief Frank Cappiello and Fire Marshal Joe Capucci. Their leadership and involvement in this project has been key. I appreciate their contributions and a dedication to the mission of providing emergency services and ensuring public safety. And now, with uninterrupted power, we are better positioned to provide these for our residents. I'm looking forward to one less thing to worry about as we prepare for and experience future severe weather events in Woodbridge. Another very important part of our team has been the Amity Regional High School District. If the Amity Board of Education had not stepped up in that crucial juncture to welcome the fuel cell construction to their campus, our microgrid could not have happened. Board Vice Chairman Pat Cardoso is here. Thank you, Pat, for your years of service. I want to also thank Superintendent Chip Dumais and his team, including Facilities Director Jim Sisa and High School Principal Anna Mann, and any students who are here today. I also want to acknowledge the team from UI, especially Jim Bertini, for your contributions to the success of this project. Finally, as I turn the microphone over to our next speakers, I want to thank Chief Commissioner Rob Klee, a Woodbridge resident, for his leadership of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, two things that this project directly helps us to address here in Woodbridge, and Governor Malloy, who provided the big picture thinking necessary to envision a project like this, and importantly, direct the efforts of the state government to make it happen. Thank you. Now I will introduce the governor.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back to this community that has worked with us so closely on our microgrid program. And if you think about the various iterations of development that have allowed this data to happen, going all the way back to extension of gas lines, participation in our initial round of microgrid funding, all the way up through today, where we can say that this community is substantially stronger and better prepared for the emergencies that we know will happen than most other communities in the state. Having this microgrid producing energy and feeding back into the larger grid when that's necessary, but then taking care of critical infrastructure within the community that the community as a whole will rely on. And I know many people in this community remember well what happened in 2011 and remember well what happened in 2012 with the extensive tree damage, lines being down, and people being without power for long periods of time. This very program, the first program of its type in the entire nation, has proven quite successful in helping communities and universities come forward, build these microgrids within their communities, making sure that critical infrastructure will be available. And again, I want to say to the First Selectwoman that you and your predecessors should be very proud, and we should be very proud of the contributions that they made to this endeavor. For this small community to have done as much as it has done, in recognition that our environment is changing, our climate is changing, human behaviors are having an impact on making things more dangerous. In this community, human behaviors are making an impact on making the community safer as well. And that's the appropriate balance that we need to strike in far more of our communities across the state. So I wanted to be here. Actually, I think I've celebrated more climate events and more grid events in this community than in any other community in the state. I do that in part so I can see the principal of the high school, whose mother is a very dear friend of mine. So it's good to be with you. Who's up next? Are you doing this? All right. Give him a good one, will you?